America, America. Guys, we all survived the epic showdown of the election because it's Wednesday. We don't know the results. We're recording on Monday, so I'm assuming we're still here, right? So, hey, we did it.
If you're listening,
still here.
Yeah,
we did it. We made it, guys. And hey, since we're still here, you might as well head over to celebrate it at DragginBags.com and pick yourself up a sweet new set of Power Dragons. You know, some Power Dragon L's.
I can't think of like in a more American like company than Draggin Bags.
Damn Skippy.
Like you have like an American flag on like every bag.
America through and through.
Yeah.
An original American is, affiliated with it as well.
Yes. Very true.
So don't forget that. So
shout out to Beowulf. Yellow Wolf?
Young Wolf?
Young Wolf, yes.
Is that it?
Or
Maddie King.
Maddie King, we love you.
What's up? Danny Lambs, you too.
Yes.
So yeah, head over to Draggin Bags. Pick yourself up a great set because they make us better throwers. So try your hand at it too. Drop code BIGASS12 at checkout.
Just do it.
Save yourself some money.
Yep.
Over at DraggingBags.com.
Got it.
Welcome to the Big Ass Cornhole Show with Sean and Dane, the host you know, talking cornhole life and random fun. Grab a beer, let's get it done. From tossing bags to let's wild ride, tune in and join the party, don't you hide. It's the Big Ass Cornhole podcast time with Sean and Dane. It's always prime. With Sean is done.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Big Ass Cornhole Podcast. Sean and Dane are with you as always. Dane, what's going on, man?
You know, just happy to be alive.
Yeah, man, it was just it was a good start to the night.
It was.
Great start tonight. I walk over. There's 2 minutes left in the Cavs game.
Tie ball
We're down.
game?
No, we're down.
Oh, you were down at that point.
Dane
Yeah,
just
that's
hit the shot. We're down by 3.
Yeah.
And then we ended up winning by, what did we end up winning by 2? Because the guy hit that.
Because he hit that
half
crazy
court.
3 at the end. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was only 2.
Okay.
But still, another great victory.
8-0.
Man, this team is
Yeah, they're fun to watch.
good defense.
Yeah.
Good offense. I like it.
Have we played the Celtics yet?
Were we their only loss? I
That's
know they
fine.
have one loss. We might have been at. I can't remember, though.
Okay.
I don't think we have.
I mean, Celtics are going to be a problem, obviously.
For sure, yeah. But it's all about just making it to the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
Making it to the playoffs healthy, and then seeing where it goes
Yeah,
from
just
there.
keep taking a step forward. So, hell yeah. Well, Dane, do what you do best every single week. Let the folks know what we're sipping on tonight in our favorite segment called What You Drinking.
What you drinking? Stop by the old gas station. Sean's showing you. Got the Vibacious, Juicy Vibacious from Great Lakes. Delicious double IPA, 9.5%. I think we did this one on the show before. I know we did Vibacious for sure.
It's been a while, though.
This is the Juicy Vibacious, but still just a fan favorite. I love it.
It does not hit you quite as hard as like a typical standard double IPA.
No,
It's not nearly as hoppy, so like
that
don't be
juice
scared
helps.
away from that.
Yeah, it's
really good.
man.
It is really good, and they're strong.
It's almost like thirst quenching when you drink it.
Kind of,
Like
yeah.
It's good. I do quite enjoy it.
And that's why I like myself a good juicy or hazy IPA. Like, you know what I mean? I just
exactly
doesn't really dry my mouth out
juicier
as
the
much.
better. I mean, we're juicy.
Hell
Of course,
yeah.
our drinks should be juicy.
Hell yeah. Well, speaking of juicy, we're going to bring you some more audio gold. All right, we're going to recap open number 3 for the ACL. We have some dramatic readings. We have a few big ASP updates. And then we're going to be joined by Mr. Easy Peasy himself, Ben Budhu of Scoreholio, and the owner of the TCL, Chad Jacobson.
Not Mr. Easy Peasy.
Yes, correct. But before we get into all that, we're going to let you know what's going on in our cornhole lives in a segment we call In and Around the Hole.
Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
I still feel like there should be a sponsor
No
here,
live
but there's
read.
not.
What's up?
All right, so what's new with you? What'd
Just
you do this weekend?
had a fun little Saturday with the fam. Went out to Pins with my niece and nephew.
Dude, I love
Dude, yeah,
that
Pins
kind.
Mechanical is a blast. So,
And it doesn't surprise me that we like that because we like stupid games like that.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, like little like
Sean,
skill.
we have a cornhole podcast.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like it's very fitting.
For
that-
sure. Yeah. And I love it. I don't think there's any way that you could be really great at that game.
No.
There's a lot of it's just happenstance. Like
Oh yeah.
does the rope happen to like collect a whole bunch?
Correct.
It kicks around.
Yeah.
Like you just never know. But
Yeah, we had a blast on your birthday.
yeah, and like so the one here is a little different. Like the other one was like elevated a little bit
Yes.
that we're bowling onto.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
one's all on the floor.
Oh, okay.
So it's like you got to actually like
You gotta be
get
an
down
athlete.
there. Yeah,
Okay, I got you.
exactly.
So I'm fucked.
So I might just do it from the knees next time. But
That happened.
damn Skippy.
Yep.
So yeah, that was fun. And then Sunday golfed with Dad during the Browns game.
Okay.
Shot pretty damn consistent.
Okay.
Just the greens that we played were in rough shape. It's Mallard Creek. It's rough.
I haven't
shape.
played there in years.
Neither have I. And I was like,
The one
Jesus
thing that
Christ.
Mallard Creek, obviously most people that listen to this aren't from this area, but Mallard Creek is known for not having any bunkers at all on the course. It's all just water and rough.
Yeah.
It can be challenging. There are some challenging holes. Like their water placement's actually very smart, and it plays more. It's actually harder, I think, for guys like us or guys like me. I do not hit a long ball, and where they place some of that water really makes you think like, oh shit, like I should
gotta
probably
lay
lay
up.
up. Yeah, because like right in my like where the ball would typically roll out that 250-ish range.
Yeah, they have 218s. One of them literally goes around the lake the whole way, so you have water the entire time.
Brutal.
That's the one me and Dad played.
Okay.
Then the other one is just through the woods, narrow as shit.
Yeah.
Like to the point where if I play that one, I do not
I
hit
get that.
driver probably more than 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
But
they have a really nice clubhouse though.
They do. It's just like for the money you pay at that
It's
course,
expensive, I think.
It's a little bit pricey. And they have like a whole like community that like pays
is it
into
all
it
new?
and stuff. Like they've built in the last like decade.
Shit, I probably haven't played there in
so
over
like they
10
have
years.
like tons of houses. It's not like in the course.
No, I
It's
got you.
Just to the left of it, there's like a bunch of houses, but I know that they pay into it.
Like if you just keep going down 82.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's literally like right where the course ends is like where the development
I got you.
is. Yeah, so they there are people paying into it. It's just like it broke my heart to see the greens in that shape. I was like, and they like didn't blow any of the leaves off the fairway. So like we lost balls like in the middle of the fairway.
And I know
which is
Dad's
just
looking
very
for
annoying.
like kind of like a country club to join.
Yeah.
But my thing is like you might as well go to Medina.
Yes.
You could get because for Dad to get there takes just as long as it would take him to get to
absolutely.
Medina. In Medina, you have like 3 or 4 options. I feel like.
Oh, and the train tracks were closed right in front of the
Oh,
course. So
what?
Dad had to loop all the way around. I came in the backside, so I was like, okay.
Down Sprague.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's the way to go. Yeah.
Yep.
That's the way to do it. God, this week. So since last time we were sitting here all together, we had trick or treat. Mm-hmm. Took my kids trick or treating.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Last year we went to like the back half of our development, and hit that up. Which don't get me wrong, it was fun. There were tons of houses that were doing like adult trick or treating, passing out little shots of Fireball.
Yeah.
I had myself a good old time. Like I was basically skipping back, and my wife was just like, "Just have fun. Just make sure, just don't lose the stroller." So I was just because she didn't want to. She had one. There were 5 houses giving them out. Wife didn't want any of them, so I'm like, well, these can't just go to waste. So I'm not gonna save them.
They're gonna get warm.
Yeah, correct. So, but yeah, this year we decided to head down towards your neck of the woods. So kids had fun. It was awesome. Your street was actually awesome. There were tons of houses that
have
were
everyone
actually
out there.
I would say 90% of the houses on your street. So it was worth making the walk over.
Yeah.
Again, he lives less than 3/4 of a mile, but when you have
Yeah, a bunch
a
of young
6,
kids
a
and stuff.
5-year-old, like it's a little tough to get them to walk that far. But they did well. My only pet peeve with the whole thing is that there were just not many houses passing out candy. Like, what the fuck is going on with this world?
Dude, it was
Is
so
it too
nice
much to
out, too.
ask for you to just pass out something? Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be expensive candy.
No.
Just do something. Like the kid, like
And if you're not home, just put something out.
there were
Chance
stretches
it.
walking to you
Yeah.
that like we were with our neighbors and they were kind of looking at me like, why are we going this way? Because there were stretches of 4 or 5 houses that were not passing out candy.
Yeah.
And then you pass by the church or on either side and there's no houses there.
Mm-hmm.
So we made the kids earn it, right?
Yeah.
So
So you should have not walked down Craft. I would have
I
walked
know,
down
I know.
West.
We should have gone down Race and then come over down Fair.
Yeah, you could do that, or I would even say West, because then you still got.
Oh, that's true. I forgot we
Sit
can
on
go down
both
off.
sides,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true. No, but it was still fun. But yeah, it was just kind of I don't know. I was kind of down about like how many people weren't passing out candy. It was just weird.
Yeah, I mean it's we had way fewer numbers than we ever had.
Oh, dude, there was nobody out.
Yeah, like
Nobody- I don't know why.
I'm used to having like 200 kids come
Yeah,
by,
dude.
and
We
there was
live in a
maybe
huge
maybe
neighborhood.
50. I mean, I gave your kids so much candy.
Yeah.
Thank God you guys came by.
And that's the only thing I keep thinking of is like, all right, maybe we just weren't maybe all the kids went to that back half.
Yeah.
That's all I can think of. Maybe they're
maybe that's like the hip.
We live
area
a.
to go.
We
just don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea, but because it's a huge neighborhood. So
yeah, but like, again, I know everyone on my street passes out candy.
Yeah. Like I said, your street was
there,
awesome.
so.
Yeah, your street was awesome. It was definitely worth.
Besides my
walking
one
over.
neighbor, actually, I think both of my neighbors didn't pass out candy.
I think they did, didn't they? Oh no, you're right. Yeah.
So
did.
my
no, the one on the corner did for sure.
Yeah, the corner did.
Oh, not you're
next
right. You're
in
right.
didn't.
Yep. Okay, I
then
forgot
us,
you're the third
and
house
then
in. Yep.
The other one didn't.
Okay.
But my new favorite thing is making it awkward for teenagers.
Okay.
So like they come up and I'll always be like, "So what are you?" They're like,
Oh, yeah.
"Oh, you guess." I'm like, "I'm not going to do that. Just tell me like what you are."
Yeah.
And just stuff like that. Then I saw guys like walking across the street. And I was like, "If you run to me right now, you can have candy." And both of them sprinted over.
My rule is as long as
you get two scoops.
if you come to my house and you're in costume, I'll give you candy, no problem.
Yeah.
If you come to my house and you're not dressed up, I'll still give you candy, but you got to earn it.
Oh, yeah,
So I
for
want a
sure.
song, I want a dance, I want a joke, I want something. I will tell you what, 95% of kids have no problem busting a move, singing something, doing
Exactly.
something for candy.
Just
It's
to get
awesome.
some candy.
Yeah, sure, we're just having
Hell
fun.
yeah.
You know, and guess what? If the ones that don't do anything, I still give them freaking candy at the end. But just to have fun with it, you know what I mean?
They're like, "Oh, you're one of those socially
Correct.
awkward people."
Yeah,
Okay.
correct. Yeah, and that's what just be social. It's okay. You're allowed to have fun.
I had this one kid come up and he didn't break character once, dressed as Jason, and I commend him.
Nice. Nice.
And then another one was dressed as Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Same deal. And I was like, "Well done."
So we kind of soft launched a little bit last week some news. So there's
What
two
news is that?
things regarding cornhole, us playing cornhole,
Yeah.
that we should talk about just real
Okay.
fast.
Sure.
Do you want me to go first? Or do you want to drop your news?
I don't really have much news
right.
cornhole wise.
Well, you've heard your friend Dwayne.
yeah.
So
I heard
it
he's
is
coming back into town.
Yeah, so it is official. As you saw on our Facebook page,
I don't go on Facebook, dude.
Dwayne's signed a contract and he is now a Cleveland Aviator. So he's going to be a minor league player this year.
Hot damn.
And he's unfortunately, I heard through the grapevines that he cannot make the Hamilton Open, which is unfortunate because it's in our home state. I think it would have been just a fantastic time for Dwayne to really make his presence known. But
The people just have
Is-
to wait.
is Dwayne excited?
Yeah, for sure.
It's
Honestly,
a cool
like,
opportunity. It is.
All right, in all
jokes,
honesty,
yeah.
like I know there's a lot of people that are like gung ho about it.
Yeah.
So I am more like the guy I told Jason, if like our team captain, if you need somebody to travel,
Correct.
hit me up. I can do
We
that.
can still bring the team morale though.
Oh, for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
I am going
This
to have
is-
a blast doing
So
this.
ultimately, like when we look at it from a content, it's too good of an opportunity to pass up. It really
Oh,
is.
yeah.
You don't. Your schedule is a little bit more available to travel on the weekend, so we decided do it.
Mm-hmm.
But when we saw that there were still openings for the Aviators, we reached out and be like, "Is this a possibility? You know, if there's open spots that we can, we could be on the team."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Absolutely." And I think it did help that we validated a little bit by throwing very well at the regional.
For sure, yeah.
So
I mean,
that did help
Again,
quite a bit.
I'm no slouch, but
No,
I'm
no.
not like, I mean, I know these guys, they play 5 days a week.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that
correct.
is not me. So I do know that I can turn it on and
Yeah, yeah,
throw
yeah.
okay.
You could
And
go
I'm-
on a you could
it's
go
not like I'm
on a
gonna
crew
phone it
cup.
in.
You could
Like,
go on a crew cup and
hell
wreck
yeah.
some shit. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
And
it'll
I'm
be
going to
fun.
just go in and have fun.
Yeah.
Bring the energy.
So,
That's what cornhole's about.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I think it's going to be a cool content opportunity for us to get some stuff,
yeah.
and it's an easy way for us to stay interested in promoting teams.
100%.
That's the big thing for us.
Yeah.
Like I want to try to get as much out of this as we can, because we're going to talk about fan attendance a little bit later,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that at least if nothing else, the teams events have the potential to maybe draw some people in with this new format.
Yeah.
Dane and Dwayne are not making it to, ironically,
Yes.
are not making it to the Hamilton Open.
Yeah, no, I will be traveling.
So I had that weekend already booked on the calendar. We were good to go. So I'm actually going to go, and I'm actually going to play. I figure if you're not going, I'm still going to get content, record some stuff, get interviews and stuff, but I might as well play if I'm going to go down there for the day. So I'm actually going to play with Mr. Tom Stranger.
Never heard of her.
Yeah, I'm excited, man.
No, you guys are going to have a blast. And
Yeah.
I'm just saying, watch out like tier 3. Really. I really think you guys might like surprise some people just like,
Remember, it's different now. So like we'll be like in the advanced
yeah.
division. So like pros and elites are in one, then we're in advanced.
Yeah.
I don't know how many tiers there
All
are.
right, so
in, like, advanced.
maybe tier 2,
Yeah,
tier 1.
I was gonna say,
We'll
so
see.
let's not stretch it out too much.
Yeah, I just
The Tom Stranger's a good thrower.
exactly.
He's
I
good.
think you can,
and again, I
light
love
a fire under you. You always seem to throw your best when you don't throw with me.
it. Honestly, it's 100% true.
Yeah,
it
so
really
just
is.
go get after it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna have
and
fun.
Have a blast.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have fun. Yeah. So he's one of my favorite dudes. So it's been a long time. We've talked about it for years, teaming up for something, but we've never gotten the
it's just
opportunity.
It's been hard.
So as soon as I found out, I reached out and he's like, well, I had a few people ask, but he's like, if you're telling me right now that I can register us and we're good, let's roll this. And I'm like, let's do it, man. Let's have some fun.
and he was just like booked.
For sure. So I'm trying to decide what we should wear.
Ooh.
I think maybe we should probably wear the hot dog t-shirts.
I
right?
do
Because
like
he's going to
that.
be the sandwich and I'm going to be the hot dog one. I mean, you know what I mean? And if he doesn't have one, that's fine. I'll get him one.
Exactly.
That's we can make that happen. But
I mean, Cool Frank's.
and if you haven't ordered a Cool Frank shirt,
Yeah,
like,
dude.
and you've listened to the show, I don't know. There are seriously the quality of the shirts. Like, I'm not like no hype up, right? No free
They're-
ads,
they're
but they're
great.
very good quality.
and
Like,
we can tell you
for
that
$20, it's crazy.
all the artwork is yours truly.
Yeah,
so,
it
like,
is.
I
Yeah,
just
Dane's
have fun,
yeah.
just kind of throwing some stuff together randomly when I can. So
And the holidays are coming up, and we are going to be launching a whole bunch of stuff. So if you're in the market for some presents, or you want to
Yeah.
add something to your list for Santa, just hold your horses. And right where I would like to drop it like a few days before Thanksgiving. So behind the scenes stuff.
and I think we might have some Thanksgiving drops
Yeah.
coming soon as well.
So before we get into the recap,
Okay,
I have a few pet peeves.
Sean, you have pet peeves?
I know. So I don't know about you. One of my pet peeves is this narrative that there is, and it's between women. And listen, I'm sorry, ladies, all like 7 of you guys that listen, love you from the bottom of my heart. But this is just all my boys hang out. Listen up for a second. If there's this narrative among women that when we get sick, it's like we're dying. I hate that so fucking much because you know what? No one's acting at 100% when they're sick. I don't want to, like, I'm so sick of like this narrative, like, oh, my wife gets sick and she's Superwoman. Fuck that. Like, no, she's not. She's not. And neither are, like, you know what I mean? Neither are we.
No,
I'm not
I mean,
pretending like we are.
I feel like shit. Like you feel like shit.
But how many times have I called off of work for the last 7 years for myself? Once in 7 fucking years I've called off for myself for sick. You think that's the only time I've been sick? No. Hell no.
I go infect all my patients.
You think?
Come on now.
Yeah. Right. So
And that's with 2 kids going through daycare.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So you
Sometimes
were
you
sick
suck it up.
just, like for probably 3 straight years out of that period.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to keep breathing in shit from a mask. So there's
Yeah,
that.
that didn't help either.
But yeah, it's so that's one of them. All right. So like there's just that narrative. Does that bother you at all? Have you heard that?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I have definitely heard that before. Now, luckily, I don't hear from my wife because she is very much like when she's sick, she is just dead to the world. When I'm sick, like I can still function. So like she's always like
My desire to
hoping-
do stuff is not there.
yeah,
but
but she's always hoping that she can like do something for me. I'm like, there's really nothing you can do. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna lay here and
Yeah,
like take cold medicine and watch
Correct.
a movie and pass out
Correct.
on and off for the next 4 days.
Yeah. And this is not a shot at anyone that in particular that's sick at all. This is just I was just thinking about it on the drive over. I'm like, I hate that narrative that like when we get sick that it's like some catastrophic event and we're such babies about it.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
we're
I
not.
always
Maybe
I always-
maybe we do feel like shit. Like maybe that's how bad it is. Maybe when we are a little sick and we don't complain about it, but the only time you actually hear about it is when it's actually really
I mean,
bad.
do we want to go grand scheme? I mean, we live in a nation of, we were raised in an era of masculinity
kind
where
of
like
yeah.
showing emotion wasn't really a thing. So maybe like anytime we emit emotion now, it's just seen as being over the top.
I
because
get-
we
yeah.
don't do it often.
Maybe. And then
Sean, we need to be more in touch
Yes.
with our feels, man.
something like that.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
right.
My other pet peeve, and my wife knows this, and it drives me crazy, is when I'm driving and she freaks out.
Oh, wow, dude.
Dude, like there
I
could be
literally
a
just had
car
this happen.
6 light years in front of me, and that just taps their brakes, and she's grabbing on the window,
Yeah.
like we're gonna be plowing through them, and she's like, "Why aren't you braking?" I'm like, "Because I took my foot off the accelerator because we're still a half mile in between us. Like that's why."
Sean, I'm driving on the 25-mile-an-hour strip of Bagley Road, just coming home just now from my in-laws.
Okay.
Amy's in the passenger seat. There's a car 5 car lengths ahead of me turns their signal on, starts to slow down to hang a right to go into Marks.
Okay.
And I just start slowing down, and I hear Amy like gripping the car door, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "My God, you're gonna clip him." I'm like, "I was like 3 car lengths away when he was making the turn, like coming to a complete stop." Like, what are you talking about? Exact same situation. My entire drive down to Traverse City or up to Traverse City.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God, the trees are so beautiful. Look out. Oh my God, I thought he was veering off center. Will you just look at the trees? Look at the trees. Leave me alone, please, for the love of God. And that was 4 hours.
I'm glad I struck a chord with this one.
Dude.
More so than the sick one.
Oh my God. And she knows it. Like,
oh, so does my wife.
yeah, I'm sure she's hearing me say this right now, probably laughing right now, because she knows that it drives me fucking insane.
All right. So anyways, this is going to be a great smooth transition right into the Open number 3 recap.
Flawless transition.
Hell yeah. It's perfect. All right. So let's start off with singles. About time. Is he back?
sir.
Is he back? Mr. Mark Richards. Is Mr. Mark Richards back?
He looked good.
He did look very good.
He looked good.
We watched the match yesterday when I came over. So Mark Richards takes down Devin Harbaugh, who at one point didn't look like he was ever going to lose or give up or ever like miss a bag.
He did hit a locked in part there where it was
And
very impressive.
what we saw from Mark Richards is what we used to see. He grinded
Yes.
that victory. It was 30 fucking rounds, and he was down big to start. Like, he dug himself out of a hole. He played smart, and he just made Harbaugh just throw 4-baggers. You know what I mean? And then he would hit timely airmails when Devin inevitably is going to miss one eventually. You know,
I mean, it started off with one big shot
Yeah.
by him to give him a 5-point spot to cover.
I
lead in
loved
half.
seeing
It
him
was
throw
big.
the airmail more often and go away from the roll.
Yeah.
He hit like 1 or 2, but when I thought he should have, hit the
there's
airmail,
a couple times where it was like, yeah, his roll looks pretty nice, but I like when he uses it. He's more strategic with it than most. But yeah, dude, his airmail was it was on fire.
Yeah.
And when Mark Richards is hitting airmails at that clip, you can't beat him.
Yeah. And listen, beating Devin Harbaugh at an Open in singles
Yeah,
is no small task because, I mean, Devin Harbaugh takes his stuff very seriously. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, they're pros. They all want to win. But Devin Harbaugh is like, he's got mouths to feed at home. Like, he knows that he does this for a profession. Like, he's going there to win. So, Mark Richards, tip of the cap. Like, I hope this is, to me, it seemed like that style of game. If that's how, if he can get back to that consistency, that 10 PPR that we knew and love, like, I think that Mark Richards is going to be
the one.
a quick ascension. You know what I mean? He's going to have that bounce back year.
Yeah.
So, third place, we had Sammy Soto and Trey Birchfield. So, each bracket winner, Trey Birchfield, Sammy Soto, Harbaugh, and Richards. I mean, who's who? I mean, bigger names in the game. This one was in where? Little Rock?
Little Rock.
Little Rock, okay.
Arkansas.
So, Sammy Soto, Trey Birchfield, both played really well. Got to see some of their matches. I mean, there's really nothing to say. I mean, they're just Trey Birchfield just continuing to stay hot, which is something you want to see.
It is nice
as we start to slowly get closer to the
And
first
people forget
signature
that he only
event.
had like really one down a year.
Yeah.
Through all that.
Yep. You have second in the bracket. You had Adam Hissner, Ethan Walker, AJ Sims, and Ryan Trader. So Ryan Trader following up a win in singles and doubles and all that stuff, going second in this bracket. I mean, you can't really. I mean, it just is really freaking.
Well, went
good.
away from who knows what. So yeah, it's just
AJ Sims. Nice to
Dirty.
see him kind of make a run. Like, I think sometimes people forget that he himself is a very good singles player.
yeah.
He has potential.
It's really
he's
where
just
he
never
was
kind
known
of like
for.
all put it together for a whole season. He's had like 1 or 2 tournaments that he's done well and made a run in singles, but he's never really put it together. But I mean, he's right now he's got his wagon hitched to Braden Wilson. It's not a bad place to hitch your wagon.
It is not.
So-
It is not.
Ethan Walker just
I did. By the way, before we move
Yeah,
on,
yeah,
did you
please.
see the Facebook post of them standing back to back?
no, I didn't.
He is the same height.
Same height now.
Yeah.
All right.
Made it just like a short time off.
Hell yeah. Ethan Walker just continues to impress. I think every year he's gotten better.
Yeah.
So if he's going to take a step up from next year, I mean, I think a top 10 player is definitely with like a steady top 10 player is definitely in that mix.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Adam Hissner, again, just continuing off his awesome season. You got to love seeing Birchfield and Hissner both doing well in singles. It's only going to mean that their games are sharp. It typically will translate pretty well in doubles. So you got to, like, if your team tight, and you have to feel pretty comfortable about where your guys are at right now.
Hell yeah.
Just other notable names. Third in the bracket, we had Zach Aiken, who I was super impressed with. Got to watch a few of his games. Just really impressed with it. Like, he has a really good all-around game. You have Brett Guy, who we have not seen shit from Brett Guy in a long time. So it's nice to kind of see him starting to put it together. I know, like, last year was definitely like a down year for him.
Yeah.
You have Ryan Windsor making like an appearance, so it's kind of good. And then this other young stud like Logan Dupler. So just, I mean, so
He's
far,
fun to watch.
oh, he is. I mean, third in the bracket all the way up. I mean, it's stacked, man. It's just showing you how much talent there is. And then you have guys like fourth in the bracket. You have Levi Haddock, who we've talked about a bunch on the show already. You have Ian Cripps. You have Hayden Gonzalez, Chase Lester. I mean, these are all big name people. You have fucking Matt Guy taking fifth in this bracket.
Justin Burton Jr. taking fifth in
You
the
know what I mean?
bracket.
Like, so I mean, it's getting. And these, again, this is just an open event. Like, we're not even at the first signature event, so you starts to get a little exciting when
For sure, yeah.
see the big names up there.
It's looking nice. Very nice.
All right, and then doubles. Overall champion, you had Devin Harbaugh and Ryan Trader, and then they take down Smith and Wiedenfeld. Nice to see Smith and Wiedenfeld they started off last year so hot, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were, I mean, in contention for like the number one power ranking, and they might have taken it over in my list in one of the weeks. I can't remember. But I mean, just consistency. Can they just get over the hump and just win the thing?
Yeah.
That's what I want to see from them. But Harbaugh and Trader, that's a pretty damn good pair right there,
Hell yeah.
especially with how those guys were throwing in singles. It translated very well. A team that we all expect to do very, very well this season. Second in their bracket, Sammy Soto and Gavin Cano. I expect this team to compete for a top 5. I think they're both immensely talented, and anything outside of top 10 would be a down year for both of them, I think.
No, I agree.
I truly believe that. Also, second in the bracket, you had Jeremiah Hector and Zach Adkins. Third in the bracket, Tony Smith and Mark Richards. Again, just kind of nice to start seeing the names, you know, getting in the mix in the brackets. Third in the bracket, Austin Kipple and Logan Dupler. Fourth in the bracket, you had Guy Nation. And fourth in bracket also was Riley Schaff and Zach Aiken. We've talked about Riley Schaff before. She's going to be kind of a name to kind of watch in juniors and women's.
Did you have Zach Aiken in here? There's Zach Aiken, then
Zach
Atkins.
Yeah, Atkins. Yeah, right. Throws you
That's
off a
not
little bit.
confusing. I mean, one's also with an H, the other one's with a K for Zach. So,
Yep.
Oh man,
I think a team that a lot of people forget about from last year and how good of a season they had was Bernasette and Lopez Jr. They took fifth in the bracket. Again, just nice to see them in the mix.
Sneaky good.
I mean, again, they were one game away in like 4 nationals from making the finals. I mean, they were second in their bracket just consistently across the board. So they just really need to get over that hump. But just seeing them back in the mix is a good thing. Other notable team, fifth in the bracket, you have Justin Burton Jr., Logan Chamberlain, and then Cannon Hatcher and Hunter Thomasy.
Thomasy.
Fifth in the bracket, DLE.
I was gonna say you don't
Josiah
leave that one
Aragon.
off there.
No,
all
I
right?
got you. It was a nice run, and she also won women's doubles with Maya Cup.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah,
Yep.
which is awesome.
They took down Riley Schaff and Vanessa Fillingham.
I mean, but is DLE and Maya Cup just not like the nicest team ever?
Oh, yeah.
like
Oh, yeah,
those
for
two
sure.
are so sweet.
Oh yeah. I mean, you stack them on top, and you might be just a little taller than you.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's love to hear that.
All right, we got dramatic reading.
Oh boy.
Do we ever?
In a world where bean bags have brought men to their knees, social media serves as sanctuary for keyboard warriors. Time for the dramatic readings.
Matt Guy. The ACL Rules Committee apparently has decided that a player can stand at the front of the board and flop their bag around all they want while their opponent is throwing. Trash. So common courtesy is no longer a thing in the ACL? Eye roll emoji. Cool. So, I think he's complained about this before.
100%.
Bag flipping stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's literally said it on this show before.
Yes.
That is
think
like
you're right.
his like biggest pet peeve.
I don't get it. If that's really gonna bother you that much, like, you weren't gonna win. You just weren't. Like, I mean, come on. Like, let's all admit, if you were truly locked in that game, that flipping of the bag like that shouldn't matter. From what I read in the comments, it sounds like he was playing against Levi Haddock.
Mhm.
And if that is true and that's the case and that's who he's kind of accusing of flipping his back, Matt Guy won that match anyways.
But he didn't win it fast enough.
I guess. I mean, it just seemed kind of weird. Like, and again, like I like Matt a lot. I really do. I think he's good for the game. I want him to be good. I think him being good gives like the ACL kind of like that villain almost. You know what I mean? Like the old school that can still get it done. You know what I mean? Going against all the young guns.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't know. I mean, it's just a weird thing to go and complain about. It's like a cry for attention. Like I want everyone that's going to come. I want you to come and take my side, kind of thing. Is how I read it.
Yeah, I mean,
And you don't need that. You're Matt fucking Guy. Like you don't need to do that.
Or he thinks if he riles up enough of a conversation, maybe he believes that it could make the change.
Should it ever be under consideration?
I mean, the rule for distraction, there's no real like indicator of what a distraction is. So like if it's distracting to the other player, then isn't it a distraction?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, like they're not crossing the board at all.
No,
they're
but
not
I'm just
making a
saying, like,
noise.
A blatantly obvious like thing. I mean, even a pitcher has to.
If you're
set
gonna
before
take
he
if you're gonna
throws,
take
like,
that kind of stuff out, like bag spinning, flipping the bat, all that kind of stuff, like, and you just want us to stand there all like emotionless robots, then we're completely fucked. We're fucked. No one like okay. If let's get into this real fast. We watched the finals yesterday of singles. There were at the high point 6 people watching. 6, not live stream. We're talking live in person.
Yeah,
You have 2 of the best players in the world playing
and 4
in
of
a
them
finals.
It was definitely past their bedtime of the 6.
But
4
still,
were young.
You only had 6 people max
I know.
that actually cared enough to stick around to watch the finals. We are fucked. We're fucked. We're fucked. If no one there even wants to stick around to watch the championship match because it might actually be an awesome match, and it was, then we're fucked. I remember 2-3 years ago when Matt Guy was playing Baby Goat, and you had at least 40, 50 people at least watching the match. All right, that's at least something.
Yeah.
But 6 people on the live stream for the championship match we're not talking a fucking regional.
Yeah.
We're talking an open event.
You're talking Mark Richards versus Devin Harbaugh.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
it's 2 big
huge.
name guys.
Yeah, no,
And
believe
there's
me,
no
I'm there
one
with you.
fucking
But
there.
my question is, does the ACL give a shit if there's people in those seats when it comes to the finals
No.
when they're already cleaning up all the boards and
Nope.
everything and like getting ready to
No.
hightail it out of there?
No,
So
no.
like,
I'm not saying it's the ACL. I'm saying in the greater scheme, the grand scheme that we're going to get into this a whole bunch with this interview.
yeah,
Where are we at in the game? If people don't even care enough to watch it, then how are we ever going to take somebody that doesn't care about it right now and then make this seem interesting?
yeah. I mean, to me, it
mean-
turns it into the argument of it's not just a tournament. You need to make it into an event.
You
want
wanna
to stick around
Correct.
and like
you want to do like
kick it
clips on TikTok of like awesome shot, like, oh sweet, like you have like one person in the background. Like, well, are you fucking serious right
Yeah.
now? Like it's an issue, people. Like if people aren't watching these matches, then it means that the people that are somewhat interested in this don't even care.
Exactly.
And that's not good for the future, in
No, I mean,
in
they
my
don't-
humble opinion.
people don't.
And I know
care
it's
to
just a
watch it,
live
They
stream.
just want to play it.
I know it's just a live stream, but there had to be a couple hundred people there.
Yeah.
And just nobody felt like the need to at least watch. Like I get if you get knocked out early, you leave, you go eat, you can always come back. Like if you actually wanted to see and you like the game, like don't you want to watch the best players play against each other?
I don't think there was a couple hundred people there. This is singles, so everyone dipped out. I mean, were there people there for doubles
I don't know.
the day prior? Like, I didn't see any of the doubles action, so maybe they were around because singles was the last event.
I'm just saying overall, even locally.
Yeah, I believe Sean. I know
That's all I'm
but
saying.
I got to play devil's advocate.
For sure.
Otherwise, everyone's gonna follow you and listen to you.
So I have another dramatic reading, but I'm not going to do it right now. It's actually a topic that I want to bring up for the interview a little bit later.
Okay.
So we're going to just kind of wrap this up. So if you want to go ahead and cue that rap horn like you do so elegantly every single week, that would
Which
be
way you
terrific.
want me to do it?
I'm
How you
feeling
want me to lay it down?
rapid fire. There are so many people right now that are so pissed at driving their car.
You're
It's like,
welcome.
wait, you're awake now.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yep. Well, thanks again to our sponsors. Go to Draggin Bags with a Z.com. Use code BIGASP12, and you're going to save yourself 12%. And
Bingo.
they really are like the best bags in the game.
Yeah.
Again, I can't say it enough. I've never thrown better in my life, and I've thrown less in my life the last 6 years. It's the bags.
It's the bags.
Put a set of Power Dragons in your hand.
They
It's gonna
got
be
that
wonderful.
sauce, man.
Hell.
Telling you.
Hell yeah. You can reach us at Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and TikTok at Big Ass Cornhole.
And the single one that's remaining for some reason, it
was the first
Big
one I
Ass Cornhole Podcast.
Yep. Don't forget about Patreon.
Patreon
is where you can go get bonus content for
French?
us. No, I don't think so.
Patreon.
There's no accent. Try to church it up.
No, Sean, it's American. Head over to Patreon if you want to be a patriot.
Correct.
Over at Patreon.
Yep. So thank you to our current little asshole patriots. But for the price of beer a month, you can get bonus content. We post the video versions of the podcast on Patreon. You get bonus episodes that we do, exclusive interviews that we do with pro players. You get a sticker. They're pretty fucking sweet stickers, by the way. They turn out baller.
Real sweet. Hang on.
Oh, yeah, you got it right there.
Bingo.
Oh, my God, it glistens.
It does
glistens.
glisten.
And Patreon members get a special sticker that it's only been made once. So once we run out, we run out. It's the Cornhole It ones that Dane designed. They're fucking awesome. Yep.
Cornhole It.
It's pretty amazing. So if you go to patreon.com/bigasscornhole, again, for the price of beer a month, you can support us and help us continue to do what we're doing. We greatly appreciate your support.
Skippy.
But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the interview. We're going to be joined by Ben Budhu of Scoreholio, Chad Jacobson of TCL. We're going to get into the future of the game, like where we're at. If you remember two episodes ago, I got posed a question, threw it out there, and if Ben would find the answer to it, of where we're at in the game. Like, are there still increased amount of games being played now, or are we kind of seeing a dip? So I'm interested to hear what he has to say. Chad's going to update us on all the changes in the TCL, and we're gearing up, and I guess we can announce it now. We're going to the Ryder Cup.
Pew pew.
Going
Let's
to the
do
Ryder
it.
Cup in January, so we already got our team, and we'll announce that at a later time.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
That
All
I
right.
just can't hide it.
All right. Hope you guys enjoy the interview, but as always, we hope you throw it straight. And it's nothing but four baggers from here on out.
Cornhole it.
Later.
No, we don't want a little hint of red in there.
We'll see what happens with it. Anyways, we'll talk off air about it. It's
All
all
right.
you want.
All right. Welcome back to the Big Ass Cornhole Podcast. We are now joined by Mr. Ben Budhu and Chad Jacobson. What's going on, guys?
Going
Not
well.
much.
Chilling.
We're here. So I wanted to bring you guys on because we've been talking a lot about just like kind of the future direction of the game and everything. And so I thought you guys would be awesome people to kind of have on for this episode. But what's new and exciting with you guys?
Go ahead, Chad. I'll let you take it. You like to talk more than me, possibly. So maybe the one guy on the planet that talks more than I do. So I'll let you go ahead and start with this one, Chad.
Man, this is easy peasy, That's the way it works, in this deal. But cornhole's going well down here in Texas, down in TCL country, going well. We just announced our spring schedule, and we're going to bring back Ryder Cups. That's a pretty cool thing that everyone's all excited about, coming back to the league and everything. And things are going well down here.
So you guys how long did you guys just have the 1 year without the Ryder Cup?
We did. We had to go 1 year. We were hoping to be able to make some adjustments and things for it, but we went ahead and adjusted a few things to fit inside of our good friends program that we use and stuff.
Okay. Now I know this year, I think you said it was going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be exclusive, right? Like you're opening it up. Like you would like to see people come from far and wide to try to do this Ryder Cup.
Yeah, we would love to see people travel from all over. One of the biggest things is that we're going from 8 players to 4 players, which also helps out with people traveling from across the country to come to play in Ryder Cup. But it'll still be an emphasis on a team game and that players are accumulating points inside their team. And it's not just going to play singles and doubles.
Yeah.
It's trying to accumulate points inside that whole team concept.
I like that.
Yeah, it's always fun. I mean, we built something called multi-match in our app. It's currently only available for a bracket. I know Chad's talked about getting it into a set schedule for his Ryder Cup. I mean, I do agree that these team events are just so much fun. I mean, I was a high school wrestler back in the day.
Yeah.
And, you'd always wanted to win your match, but you go to these tournaments, I mean, you're trying to win points for your team overall. It gives you that high school kind of feeling.
It does.
Where it's something that you're playing for a little bit above yourself. For me, it's great because I suck at the game. So it's like, okay, I still got a shot to win if I got 3 good guys on my team. That's why I'm shopping teammates for Ryder Cup. Maybe I should make it out there. If, the Ass brothers are on my team, I got a shot to win this thing.
Unfortunately,
we're in high demand. We're already squatted up.
Squad up.
Yeah, they're already there. But you mentioned multi-match, and that was one of the key components of Ryder Cup that we're doing this year is that teams are going to generate points in a couple different events. They're going to run singles, doubles, crew cup, and then you're going to end up trying to qualify, kind of like you have in other sports like college basketball or even the college football right now, where you're trying to make the playoff brackets or March Madness per se. You're trying to qualify after those 3 events to make the multi-match single elimination bracket. And using Scoreholio's cool process of the multi-match and including that team game is really what our emphasis is on this year's Ryder Cup.
Yeah, just so you guys know, just so the Ass brothers are aware, multi-match in the app, it's a way that you can actually put together a team of 4 as a team. And then whenever you get put onto a court, and you could actually split it up into multiple courts. So let's say court 1 and 2, team A and team B are going to go play on court 1 and 2. On your phone, if you're using player scoring, which allows players to score from their own phone, or if you're using tablets, it'll actually have the full team on the tablet. And let's say that you want to do, 4 doubles matches, 2 singles matches, and a crew cup. You can actually assign who's going to be in each one of those matches. And then they come up on the tablets as you're going through. And then once you're done as a team versus team, you submit that and it'll move you along the bracket as you keep on going. So it's a great way for an organizer just to be able to, you put it, once you set it up, it'll get it all out there. Now there is obviously a learning curve with the software. It can be a little confusing, but once you get it down, people are loving it. I mean, it's big. A lot of people play pickleball now, but pickleball does one where it's like four doubles, and then they do a tiebreaker at the end. And it's one of the reasons why we also brought it into the app. But a guy up in New York actually runs that same format that they had in pickleball now for cornhole, and he's loving it. The way that they got it down, and the players know how to do it and everything, and he's able to grow his numbers there because it gives you that team effect, whenever you're playing for something a little bigger than yourself, like I said before.
Nice.
Chad, can I share that photo?
Absolutely.
Okay. So just pull that photo up if you don't mind, if we can.
Okay.
I'll let you work on that for a second.
You're not sending nude photos again to the Ass brothers, are you?
No, it was kind of it's basically a visual of what you're talking about.
Do you want it up on our screen?
Yeah. Why don't you do that?
Okay. I can do that.
Do you need a minute?
Yeah, just give me 1 second.
So, Chad, just so I understand and just to make it clear for like the Ryder Cup. So when you're talking about facing off like against a team, like you'll have X amount of, like, I'm assuming all 4 members will play singles. You'll have 2 doubles and then a crew. And then based off who had the better like overall record or whatever, then that team would then get the team victory.
Ryder Cup will be over 2 days.
Okay.
So Friday during the day you'll play singles.
Okay.
And then Friday night you'll play crew cup, and then Saturday during the day you'll play doubles.
Okay.
And let's just say there's 64 teams of 4 in your division of Ryder Cup. Okay. We're only going to take maybe 24 of those teams to the playoff.
Okay.
Because not every team deserves to go to the playoffs.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The Arizona Cardinals don't deserve to go to the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Whoa. I thought you wanted features to get done here.
And so it's kind of like Dallas Cowboys don't deserve to go to the playoffs. I mean, let's just talk. Wow. You know what I mean? And so anyways, after you qualify for the playoffs, then what will happen is we'll use multi-match, which is Scoreholio's latest and greatest concept, kind of like how Switchholio was a couple of years ago. Now it's multi-match. Okay. So inside the multi-match, let's just say that Ben and I's team is going to play y'all's team. Okay. And inside a multi-match, we're going to play 4 singles games.
Yeah.
And we're going to play 2 doubles games.
Okay.
And then if the score is relatively close, we'll have a tiebreaker game.
Okay.
So the way we're going to do it is the 4 singles games will count for 1 point.
Okay.
So you can get a max of 4 points there.
Okay.
The 2 doubles games will be 2 points each.
Okay.
Which will be for a max of 4 points. So there's 8 total points to earn.
Okay.
If the game is 8-0, y'all beat us, y'all move on.
Yeah.
If it's 7-1, y'all move on. If or 7-1, y'all move on. 6-2, y'all move on. If it is 5-3 or 4-4, we're going to make the crew cup worth 2.5 points.
Okay.
At that point, a tiebreaker will be played to go ahead and do that, which the tiebreaker will be a crew cup.
Okay. That's not it.
Nope, that's not it.
And the cool thing about Scoreholio is
There she is.
if you want to deem the point values of the different games differently, you can do all that inside the deal. You want to play only 2 singles and 2 doubles. In multi-match, they have different format setups. We've just chosen the 4 singles, 2 doubles, and our crew cup be worth 2.5 points and only happen if it's 5-3 or 4-4.
I mean, there's no need to make like the math crazy. You know what I mean? I mean, but if you really wanted to get into it and you're doing like let's say you do like, you have to have an A, B, C, and D player, right? You could technically have like the games weighted differently if you really wanted to. You know what I mean?
You could, but no, not their system, because either singles or doubles are worth the point values. You can't value the A game worth more than that. They don't have that right now. But what the cool thing is that it allows you to say, okay, we're going to play 3 different games, or we're only going to pretty much play 2 games, 2 different styles, singles and doubles, and we're only going to use the crew cup if the crew cup really matters.
Yeah.
If you're dominating singles and doubles, why make crew cup play?
Correct.
If it's close, let's bring the team concept in there. And with multi-match being only single elimination right now inside of Scoreholio, it's awesome because you played this round robin all the way through the qualifying matches to get seeded. So it goes to that March Madness seed. Is it 1 versus 16 playing each other and it's single elimination? So the one team plays a 16 team and they play each other. The one should win and move on, and then they're going to play then they're going to play the Elite 8, then they're going to play the Final 4, then they play the semifinals, and they're playing for the championship. So it's a cool concept, and you've got these Ryder Cup teams trying to qualify for the playoff, and the playoff is the multi-match.
What are you guys going to use as like a tiebreaker? Like, is it going to be
the crew cup?
Well, I know, but like at the end, like you're going to get points. So I'm taking like to qualify to be one of like those top 24 teams. If you could inevitably have 2 teams tie in team points, so then is it like team PPR? Is it, how many points you scored?
It goes back to the team concept. So you're going to play singles, doubles, and a crew cup to be able to qualify. If 2 teams tie with points, who finishes furthest in crew cup will be the tiebreaker.
Okay.
It goes back to the team concept.
Sean,
you're playing for the
Sean, I don't think you need to necessarily worry about it because, but for other people.
Oh, 100%.
Like
this is for public awareness for sure. Although, hey, like last time I went out there, I played very well. So like we did very well. Me and Brandon Thompson were feeling it. So I'm excited. I love the environment. Like I tell people all the time, like it's a fun environment to kind of go to. Ben, like have you been to a TCL event yet?
Yeah, I've been to a TCL event. We went to, but we haven't been to Ryder Cup. So I think I'm going to have to make a trip out to Ryder Cup. Maybe get Phil from the team out there to play with me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it'd be a full party.
My favorite thing about the TCL event is the nap break in the middle. I think it's fantastic. You get like the little, 1 hour, 2 hour refresher where
we call it an eating break.
The tournament.
Yes, correct. Yeah,
eating break.
Yeah.
I think last time I ended up at the pool and, Chad was buying everybody drinks at the bar and it was a lot of fun.
Sounds about right.
I'm looking forward to it. Ryder Cup, Michael Meacham. I think, Chad, Michael Meacham as well out there. He's ran very similar things to like a multi-match where you come in as a team, you run the same double, singles, and a crew cup. So they're pretty well known out there. A lot of different people do them, all different scenarios, 2 singles, 3 doubles, things like that. In the system, if you're using Scoreholio, like Chad said, you could give those weighted points. So singles for 2 points and, doubles for 3 points. A lot of different people use it, a lot of different sports, but, Chad definitely throws one of the biggest parties that's out there.
Oh, yeah.
That's always a fun
weekends.
I'm right.
Everybody. Yeah.
And the weather should be decent down there. So Ben, I don't know if you are a golfer at all.
Oh yeah. I golf all the time.
It will be the second week of January, guys. It will
I take a stick and I hit a ball. I don't know if that's called golfing, but
we'll try to make it work.
Yeah, I'm in the mid 90s. How are you shooting these days?
I'm typically like mid 80s.
Oh wow.
Like I can go lower, I can go a little bit higher, but yeah, typically like an 84 is like my thing. I'm a +9 handicap right now.
Wow.
I just shot one over. I shot one over yesterday on 9.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys aren't.
I'd say he's very good
on the course.
I just don't play enough, but he's very good.
It's been golfing
awesome.
forever.
How far are you hitting your drive?
I'm only like 275, 280.
Okay. I just got a new driver.
I just know where it's going. That's the difference.
Yeah.
I'm fairly accurate with it, so I'll take it.
I know now, and I know January can be hit or miss. Like I know it could be freezing or it could be 60 degrees. So we're just gonna keep our eyes on it. But if it's decent enough, yeah, I mean for sure, yeah, we're bringing our clubs, and I think we're gonna try to. So what is Ryder Cup? Is it Friday, Saturday, or is it is there still like the blind draw on Thursday? Or
yeah, so we'll still have our kickoff events Thursday night.
Okay,
and then Ryder Cup will be Friday, Saturday. So if it's great weather, guys, what I'll do is I'll get my son to get y'all tee times at a course called Tour 18.
Sweet.
Right around the corner. It's got some of the 18th best courses, best holes around that you'll be able to go play. And I'll let him challenge y'all.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I would like to. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Does he play for his high school team?
He is getting done with football, and so they cannot try out for the golf team until football's over.
Okay. When is the golf season for you guys?
They already are doing a couple. They've already been starting, and they'll play a lot in the spring.
Oh, okay. All right.
But they get that luxury where they can play more often.
Multiple ones at the same time.
Yeah, at least you guys get a spring sports season. We do not get one here. It's rain. Everything gets rained out pretty much.
Yeah,
so.
it sucks.
Do you guys see a lot of golf tournaments at cornhole tournaments? Because down here in San Diego they do that quite a bit too.
No, man. So it's one of the. So it's honestly it's one of the that's one of the routes we wanted to go. We love golf. We love cornhole. We wanted to try to blend it. We had tried to work a deal with Top Golf. We were throwing this big Top Golf and cornhole tournament like at the facility, and there was just no interest in it. So it was just
well, the one right now that everybody's over in Bagmania in Vegas, and I know a lot of guys go out there and golf in Vegas for that tournament as well.
Oh, for sure.
So,
no, I know there are a lot of golfers that just like for bigger events and stuff like that. I don't see, but no, it's just when we travel to stuff now, we want to golf when we're out. So
yeah, I run a lot of fundraisers and corporate events. That's kind of like my jam out here. And one of the craziest tournaments I ever ran was a cornhole tournament. I ever ran was a corporate tournament. It was like on the turn of the golf course, they would play part of the cornhole tournament and then finish at the end of it. Well, at the turn, they were like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
for
fine.
sure.
They're hitting it. I mean, it was like herding drunk cats at the end of the thing. I mean, it was unbelievable.
The last time,
like, forget the cornhole tournament.
My wife went out of town for one weekend, and we went out and had like a little boys' weekend. Like, I think there was 12 of us.
Yeah,
went out and golfed, and let's just say your boy enjoyed himself very much. Like, I just got after it that day. So,
well, I think golf and cornhole. I'd say a lot of cornhole players play golf a lot. So
I think there's a decent crossover. I mean, I think we're just all like hobby junkies. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we always need to be doing something. Like, if I wasn't doing this, like I would have some other hobby that I was just balls deep in. You know what I mean? Like, it's just inevitable. Absolutely. So it kind of blends perfectly into one of the main topics I wanted to bring up. Ben, I don't know if you heard the episode, but I think 2 or 3 episodes ago, I posted a question to you, asking, we were discussing where we at in the overall growth, right? Because we just don't know. And the specific question I want to know is because there are so many like local leagues right now that use Scoreholio that aren't necessarily affiliated with ACL or ACO or TCL. You know what I mean? I know TCL obviously uses Scoreholio, but where are we at in overall growth? Like, are you still seeing, like, are we still at an increase in like overall games being played? Like, or are there just more clubs? Is things getting more spread out? Like, do you have a kind of a feel on that at all?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been in cornhole for a little less than Chad. I think I started about 2015. Chad's been in it a little longer than I have.
Okay.
It's when we started Scoreholio in 2018. We always thought, how big could this thing really be, right? Like, when especially Scoreholio, it was never supposed to be an app. It wasn't. We were just kind of messing around with the spreadsheet. And so we always used to say, when is peak cornhole? When's the peak of this thing? Like, it's got to cap out eventually with the amount of players that are there. but the sport is obviously hot and growing, and people really enjoy it and come in. I'll tell you, we get this sense of doom and gloom from the community as a whole right about this time every single year. And it's always at the beginning of October. I'm looking right now at our analytics, and I'll send you a little picture of this after we're done. Maybe you can talk about it another time.
Yeah.
But there is a dip in October every year.
Okay.
And it's cyclical, and it happens also in May too. So in May there's a dip, and then it comes back up as well.
Okay.
It's almost on the dot, December 22nd, it starts going back up, and it'll run all the way back up to the end of like March, April, May, somewhere around there, and then it takes a little dip again. But you can literally see the wave of it, and I think a lot of that has to do with the type of people that play cornhole. I'm a cornhole player. Chad's a cornhole player. You guys are. We have kids. A lot of them play sports. Chad's kids are playing football right now. It's kind of tough to get out. We also start to get a little cold. The holidays are around. People start to come out a little less. In terms of the overall trajectory of the sport, it's been going up since we started. And I mean, I don't know, when I look at my graph, I like to think that, it's a good telling sign of what the sport is doing, and it's going up. So this time last year, we have more people playing now than we did then, right? So it's still an upward trajectory. I'll give you, for instance, so right now there's 6,633 people on the Scoreholio app as we're talking right now across the nation, right? Yesterday as a whole, these are unique people. So it doesn't matter if you have 6 Scoreholio
I got you.
or whatever. It doesn't matter. These are unique people that have the app, that are in the app. It's 29,000 in one day. That's how many people go into the app. We're at about 183,000 for the month right now. Last month, we were at 205,000. So there's a dip, right? So it's dipping down about 20,000 people, but it's going to raise back up pretty quickly after this once December hits, because there's that dip every single year. So it's, in terms of last year, the numbers were down below 180, right? It was like 160, 162 ish when it started to hit its dip.
Okay.
So that's where the trajectory is. Now, I know a lot of people are talking about attendance at some of the bigger events, things like that. Chad doesn't seem to have any issues getting everybody to come to his event.
Hey, that's because he's running events, not tournaments.
Yeah, events, not tournaments. That's 100% true. But I got you, Chad. Yeah, there you go. My job at this app is to teach people how to use the app and then help people use it. I do about 6 to 10 Zooms a week, teaching people how to do it for fundraisers, corporate events, leagues, getting clubs started. That has not slowed down at all. If anything, it's been getting more and more picked up. So you can look at like the TCL, and I pulled some numbers from them. 2021, 31 organizers. 2023, last year, 51 organizers. Number of tournaments for TCL in 2020. This isn't just Chad. This is his organization. 2021, 572 tournaments. 2022, 1,058. Last year, 1,540.
It's pretty steady growth.
Yeah. 2021, number of players, 3,900. 2022, 4,000. 2023, 2024, 6,515. Chad, I think you're going to crush that number this year, right? I mean, with 20 more organizers across the state, not just Texas. Now Chad's expanding. He's spreading his wings. The numbers are growing out there. They are. With bigger tournaments, I think that, the bigger tournaments like Chad runs definitely draw people to the sport. Mm-hmm. Obviously seeing it on TV helps out as well. But I do also think that there's, at a smaller level, just being able to go out and play with 8 people in a backyard, that's never going to stop with our sport. Right?
No. And I think the competitive level of cornhole, like competitive cornhole, whether it's your local league or, whatever, smaller blind draw, stuff like that. Like, I'm glad to hear that that's growing. It doesn't necessarily mean that the professional level is going to also do well. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that, and you got to remember, like, the events that people are complaining about lack of attendance, like, it's it's a certain individual that wants to go to those. They want to be the ultra competitive person. I think most of us would be like, I don't really ultimately care.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to be a pro. Like, well, I don't need to necessarily go to something like that.
100%. No,
So I think that's why
agree.
we're starting to see it down, especially when there's 5 nights a week now I can play in Cleveland.
Yep.
Why do I need to travel anywhere? I can just go right here.
I think that what you're talking about is you're talking about softball. You know what I mean? To a certain extent. Like, how many of us would love to have been Major League Baseball players?
Yeah.
But either didn't have the skill or the mindset to be able to get there. I mean, how many of us love to have been college baseball players? Probably a lot more, and a lot more of us were. You know what I mean? How many more of us played high school baseball? How many more of us played Little League baseball? And what Scoreholio has been able to do is bring cornhole to that deal that you can go play at your local tournament, and that's like Little League sports. You know what I mean? That going to play in your regional tournament is great, and it drives that whole feel of that backyard kind of deal. And then as you go play in a organization, that may be your high school deal. You know what I mean? And then you go play in a big event, that may be your college deal. And if you make it to ESPN, that's your national major league deal. And there's few and far between us of doing it. But playing locally and doing all your stuff is what the game is about.
Yep.
And people need to understand that even playing at the local level can still be competitive.
Oh, yeah.
That's all people want to do, is they want to compete. And that's what Scoreholio and that's what TCL has kind of strived to do, is the different tiers. Is playing with inside your own skill set to make the game competitive, that I go out and I go play. I don't want to go play against Matt Guy on a Tuesday night and just get blown out. Now, would I love to go play him one time? Sure. Great. It's awesome. I've done it. It's amazing. But I want to go compete against Ben. I want to go compete against you guys. I want to go compete against somebody. That's all we want to do.
I think
because
that
we all have 8 to 5 jobs, and we just want to compete. That's what we want.
I think that one of the things that I was talking about somebody the other day about cornhole, when I started back in 2015 and I was running a couple of tournaments, we had Andrew Labrador, who's one of the best players out here. Like, he would throw 4-baggers pretty consistently.
That was nice of you to say about Andrew.
We would literally pick up the board and sign the underside of the board when we would throw a 4-bagger. That's how we used to do it, because not very many people actually could do it.
Yeah.
So whenever a new player was coming in and they were like wanted to play the game, 90% of us were throwing 6 PPR, right? I mean, it wasn't that big of a thing. The sport has become more exciting, more fun. It's drawing more people into it, as it should, because it's an amazing sport. But because of that, we now have people that have been playing for 10 years that are throwing consistent 10 PPR. So when you go to your local club, somebody brand new walks in and there's 30 guys that can consistently throw 4-baggers in. Yeah. It becomes a hindrance. So what Chad's talking about with the tiers is exactly what I talk to about with organizers that are out there. I talked to a guy out in Oakland Yard Games. It's a place in Michigan, indoor softball field. They have 40 courts. And I was asking him because I was watching his numbers grow, and people have been talking about numbers going down, but his numbers are going up. And he runs competitive cornhole, 80% payout. They play a league. He's like, that one is consistent. There's 40 teams that come there. He's like, but my social league, he's like, it's 80 teams consistently, and we have a waiting list because there's no payout whatsoever. It's split. You play 4 weeks, and then you're split into social, backyard, and intermediate. So these people are all like the brand new player that's walked in that can't even hit the board, kind of like me.
Well, I mean, can you say that again? Can you say that again? There's no payout.
Zero payout. They win a trophy.
But aren't you don't we play to try to make money and support our families?
You're talking to the wrong guy. If you go back through my history of talking on Facebook, my biggest thing is I don't agree with payouts in the sport. I think that organizers personally do a lot of work.
Oh yeah.
It's a very hard job, and I think organizers should make more money for what they do. Now, payouts fine. Darts has payouts, bowling has payouts, billiards, you do payouts. I mean, it's fine. But, a lot of those places, a billiards hall, they got a bar, they got a restaurant, they're making ancillary money where people are bringing in money. Me as a cornhole organizer, most of the time, I'm like at a venue that's not paying me, and I have to buy all the equipment, get everything together. I got to do the marketing. I got to do the cleanup. I got to do the, everybody complaining about stuff. Got to.
What that happens? What?
Running the tournament is the easy part. That's like 10%, right?
Yeah.
Everything before it and after it is the hard part. And I don't think they make enough money to be able to replenish their equipment, keep them motivated. And you see that a lot out there with some of these organizers that get burnt out. And I don't think that it's fair for them. But like I said, I've been an advocate for organizers making
No, I
more
get
money
that.
for a
No,
long
100%.
time. But I understand that I'm in the minority.
They're the unsung
Chad might
heroes of
disagree with
cornhole.
me on it.
Yeah, they're the unsung heroes.
I agree with you 100%, Ben, is that, you mean, there needs to be a level of the payouts and kind of doing some things. I hate the argument when people are like, oh, there's more people in social, that money should have stayed there. No, what we do is we do a lesser percentage payout in social, a higher percentage payout in the next division, a higher percentage payout in the next division. And money can get kind of shuffled around because what's your level of not sandbagging and kind of doing some of that stuff. And so
Correct.
there's always going to be less teams in the higher division, always, hands down.
Yes.
And so, what has allowed us to grow is the different tiers because we don't have divisions. Because a local director can pick and choose how he does it and change up his strategy each week, whether it's a BC tournament or whether it's a B tournament this week or it's a CD tournament, and they're able to adjust. That enables them to be the chef, be the own cook of their restaurant, and change up how they do the recipe of doing it. And that's the cool thing about enabling them to be able to control their percentage of people showing up.
Chad, I'm interested to hear you guys just you guys kind of rolled something out. I think it was last year. This new Texas TCL player metric, like a way to kind of grade a player and how to organize them. So I know you had to have gotten some feedback, positive and negative, across the board. What do you Can you just kind of walk us through how do you think it worked? Did you get a lot of complaints? Did people kind of feel like they fit in the right spot?
Here's the deal. People are always going to complain. They always feel like they are a better player than what they are until you tier rank them that ranking. And then they don't want to be because they want to be able to play down in order to compete for the championship.
100%. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I will say, just a quick side note, I absolutely love it when Chad posts his TCL tiers.
Oh, dude, it's my favorite read.
It is almost 100 comments.
Yes.
In 10
love
minutes.
it. Yes, I love it. It's my favorite.
You guys love your dramatic Facebook readings.
Oh, yes.
You could literally write a novel on some of them.
Oh, that is a
it
is a weekly must read. Yes, for sure. As in terms of social media
Chad,
content.
didn't mean to interrupt.
All right, so it happens. It's one of my most hateful days. I pre-do it to where I schedule that to where I go see a movie every single time, so I'm not around the computer, so I cannot respond for the first 3 hours. It happens, you know what I mean? But no, and so it all goes back to, what Scoreholio has been able to do for the game is bring analytics into cornhole.
Yep.
And they have done it better than anybody, okay? And love Scoreholio, but we argue back and forth on a few things, and one of them has been a season ranking of doing it because I feel that organizations, like any other sport, have a conference record and an overall record and kind of doing it. And so that's the reason why we came up with this score. Now, my friendly people over at Scoreholio have now since started doing a season ranking, and it's going to be interesting to see how we incorporate that into our deal. But yes, we are one of the organizations that we tier rank players for the ability for organizers to adjust in how they invite people to tournaments and not put them in a division. And so being able to do that inside Scoreholio, because it takes in so much instead of it just a PPR. And that was the hardest thing, is that people feel like their PPR is be all end all. It's not.
It's not.
There's so many more stats that are way better than a PPR.
Well, that's one thing that about us at Scoreholio, the reason why we end up doing a lot of what we do is based off of the feedback that we get from people like Chad, right? So we listen to our organizers. I talk to them every day, and Chad has been in many an argument with me about how the ratings go, right? I always love Scoreholio player rating. It's probably the most controversial rating out there, but Chad has always said that it's not a good rating for people that are more on the competitive side. And I could see it, and I saw his argument, and it is why we are working with him to be able to come up with an in-season ranking where it only looks at the games that you played inside of those competitive matches.
Okay.
Because with Scoreholio player rating, we rate everything. So if you're drunk in the backyard playing at a fundraiser, you know, and you're just messing around, you're going to get affected by that, right? Well, if you're playing at a TCL regional and that's going to affect how you get seated or what tier you are for a signature series, you might be in a different mindset to be able to play a little bit harder. So we've been looking at it. We've been working with the TCL to try to find a way to make those numbers work where it will look at only the in-season games. But like Chad said, and there's a great quote, and I'm going to look it up, but the guy that made the ELO system, which is considered one of the most reliable, and SPR is based on it, the backbone of it, ELO system, you can look it up. But it's basically like there is no good metric. It's like trying to measure like how tall a boat is on like a rising on a wave in a sea. Like it's just
I can honestly say I never once ever cared about my SPR ever because I didn't play enough to give a shit, and I wasn't like it wasn't so good that I wasn't like gonna get not allowed in a tournament. But I was so impressed with when they came out with this new player rating system, and I went out last year, how they were able to kind of figure out where I should go just based off of that. And I felt like I was at the perfect level of competition. Like there were some games that like I played really well and I won handedly, but then there was other games where I'm like, oh shit, like this guy's like legit good, but like I would like not intimidating. You know what I mean? I felt like every game I was in. So I'm like, I walked away from that being like super impressed. I'm like, and I don't even play that much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, you know, you look at rounds for me, like total ever, it's probably the bottom of people that have been around for like 6 years. You know what I mean? But I was super impressed with how accurate it was. And like, it truly did give me a good sense of it. Cause I was shocked when they're like, oh, you're going to be a B player. I'm like, fuck you. I'm a B player. Are you serious? Like I played like once in like the last year, but like, sure enough, as I went in and did it as well. I will tell you, I mean, for all those hundreds of comments that come in while Chad's watching, you know, Titanic at the movie theater, you know, that's an odd choice. I'm surprised you went with Titanic, but it's all right. We can go with that. I like it.
You know, but, you know, what they miss are the countless hours of Chad talking to me about it and, you know, talking to others about it. And the passion that he puts into it and the effort and the time that he does to make sure that those tiers work correctly. And I've been to the TCL tournaments, and one of the things that you don't hear very much there is that they're in the wrong spot.
No.
They kind of sound like you, that they were in the right spot.
Yeah.
And, you know, having those metrics, playing with Score Magic, you know, definitely, like Chad said, I've always thought PPR is kind of a skewed metric. I mean, I've known some guys that if they block, especially for me, I'm not very good, right? You throw a blocker bag in front of that hole, I'm a hot mess. I mean, I'm throwing 4 bags off.
Sean, are you talking to a mirror right now?
Sean and I would play.
Let's take basketball. Let's take basketball for a second.
Yeah.
Do you think that Steve Kerr is a better basketball player than Michael Jordan?
No.
Okay, but Steve Kerr has a better free throw percentage.
Yeah, I get it.
You know what I mean? And that's what PPR is. PPR is nothing more than free throw percentage because it's an unchallenged, typically kind of being able to kind of do it. You know what I mean?
And I feel like if you people that say DPR is the one, DPR is just a metric of who you're playing against. I mean, Chad would have the best DPR in the world if he played me in every single game.
No, it's
right?
true.
So,
it is.
Right. And so you're able to kind of take the different metrics and kind of put those in different systems and kind of do all that stuff. And you're trying to just put them in a category. But when you go to a big tournament, okay, and you're talking, we have 400 players, you mean, or 320 players in competitive division at a signature series, which is typically what we have, okay? 320 singles in the C division. There's going to be players that average the PPR typically in the 7, okay? They're going to shoot an 8. Out of 320 players,
law of averages.
There's 30 or 40 of those players that are going to be so hot that they're going to be shooting in the 8 range, and those are the people that are going to win. And you're going to have people shooting 5s. It doesn't mean that they're not in the C ranking or different things like that. They're hot for that day, and that's what wins the game. And that's the craziest thing about it is You're talking 320 players. Yeah, there's going to be 40 or 50 players that are so hot that they're shooting 8s and 9s.
Correct.
It's going to happen.
Now, I will say it did take me a while to learn that as a player, though. Because there was times that we'd walk into tournaments like in competitive when we were first coming out, being like, why are they in competitive? Like they just both like destroyed us.
Yeah.
But now I think we've started to learn that being hot is an actual thing in cornhole.
It is, but there's also a way of like, even when I lost the last time I played in a TCL event, I walked away every time thinking like, damn, I could have won that. Like I should have won that. Like it was me. Like it wasn't the other player.
Yeah.
It's because you weren't. It's because you were throwing without me.
That's where strategy comes into it. That's where the timeouts come into it. That's where the gamesmanship comes into it. That's where being able to kind of control the tempo, the speed of the game, being able to do all those things. Cornhole is not just hey, we're all doing this stuff. No, it is tempo. Like I'm going to throw faster. I'm going to slow it up. I'm going to ask you questions. Where are you from? What do you do for a living? What's going on? You know what I mean? Here's the things. In between frames, you can do that stuff. There's no rules against that of gamesmanship and just having a good time. And that's the beauty of the sport, is it allows that camaraderie of doing it. Like, how many times have you play baseball and the catcher is talking to the batter as he's trying to bat? It's awesome.
It's every single game.
It really, and it happens way more often than people even know about.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out on a limb that if you're playing against Chad, he just never stops talking.
He doesn't. I've seen it. I mean,
Chad, we need to play together because I'm very much the same way.
Yes.
My favorite memory.
My least favorite thing, Chad, is when you get up there and somebody has headphones in. I'm like, well, there it goes. I'm going to lose this game. I can't even chat with the guy.
No, that's when you tell them there's a new rule, no headphones. We got to remove those. You're not allowed to use those.
Is that true?
Absolutely. No.
When he's playing, it is.
When you're in their head.
Hey, see, you're already in your head. You're already.
My favorite thing, though, we were in Shreveport. Me and my buddy Adam Utes were in a game, okay? And we literally got down like 19-12 to these two kids, okay? Guy may have been 15. The girl may have been 14, 15. They're about the same age. They're middle school, early high school, you know? And they are kicking our butts. And I literally called timeout for no reason. Just call timeout. And I pull them to the middle. I'm like, hey, y'all come here. And I'm like, I see you looking at her. I see you looking at him. How about I take y'all to Dairy Queen after this game and buy y'all each a Blizzard for y'all's win and all the stuff like that? And literally we went back, and in 3 frames we beat them 21-20.
Just get them all embarrassed. Oh yeah, be like, he said you were cute. You know what I mean? Like just play
the
mine.
Blizzard effect.
The Blizzard effect, exactly.
The same thing would work on me and Sean. It'd be like, ice cream, let's go.
Like, why are we even playing? Let's
what are we doing here?
You can win.
It could be same could be said for beer or something. You know,
very true. I can be bought.
Correct.
Yeah, this last time we were in Shreveport, this September, I got down 20-6 to a guy, and literally he was like, "Man, we should take off our shirts." I'm like, "Deal, I'm in." And so we proceeded to take off our shirts, and I'm down 20-6, and I come back and beat him 21-20.
Hell yeah!
We pulled off a similar comeback.
That we did.
I don't think we played
against a former ACL pro.
Yes, correct.
Might I add?
Yes, we were down 19-2. 19, yeah.
Came back in 3 rounds. Beat Cito Soto.
There you go.
Yeah, good old classic Cito. Good old classic Cito.
So just on a little micro, we talked a little macro numbers with me. On a micro level, how are you guys' leagues and clubs doing out there in Ohio?
So I know, I mean, I think the clubs are doing great.
The problem is there's more clubs now.
Yeah, it's just very spread out here. I know the Cleveland Regional was very light, but there was also an ACL Open that a lot of the more competitive players were traveling to. But it was pretty light. I mean, it was so light that we were able to take 5th. You know what I mean? I was honestly, that's kind of where my concern started, and that's where the conversation was at. Like, where are we at? Like, are we still seeing growth?
Did you see the highlights of this past weekend? So we did they kind of did a crew cup thing.
Yeah.
Like out here.
Yeah.
With all the local crews around.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Locally, like the local clubs are doing well.
I mean, there was a ton of people at it. So that to me was like, those are the type of tournaments people want to go to now.
Well, and the same time at the regional, there was like a charity event down the street running by, I think it was Wingate Cornhole that had like 60 or 70 people at.
Yeah.
So I think we're just seeing so many people are spreading out. And again, there's so many opportunities to play that once upon a time, 6 years ago, if you wanted to play somewhat competitive cornhole, you had to go to your monthly regional. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we would get 140 people all going up. We'd play the regional. It'd be great. But now, like, I could go play in the regional, or I could go like have fun with my buddies and play in this blind draw down the street, and still get my fix. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not necessarily get dominated by like a pro player or something. Like, yeah, let's go do that.
Yeah, I think that you look at Paradise Grill, which is something that Delaware Cornhole does. Mike Napier out in Delaware, like he has no problem. That thing sells out in like a hot minute, right? So I think that there's still an opportunity for those competitive tournaments that are out there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Staples, especially if they're fun, right? I mean, those are from what I understand, and I've never been to a Paradise Grill, which I'm going to have to. That's on the bucket list for me. They're extremely fun, right? And everybody has just a great time. So I think that all levels are still doing. You look at John Clark, Maniacs Cornhole up there. That guy is running. His league sells out immediately, and he's very much like Chad doing tiers. He has 4 different divisions. The people at the beginning that just walk in, they're at that beginning level, and they just finished, and it sells out immediately. It has payouts at the top all the way through the bottom, so he doesn't, hit what I tell him to do, but he still does it. So I think that I keep coming back to it. I think the sport is still growing. I think it's like you said, a lot more. Whereas you used to have maybe one cornhole club per 8 towns,
correct.
around you. Now you have 5 cornhole clubs around there. And the good thing is back in the day, I don't know if you guys know the Jersey guy. Those guys
hung out with him at Spencer's.
Yeah, we saw him at Spencer's.
Yeah. I think you guys beat up on him in a virtual tournament back in the day.
We
did. We also gave him a reminder of that at Spencer's this year too,
on
in
live
person. So.
I narrated that one, so I remember it well.
Oh yes,
but he's from my town, right?
Yeah.
And he started with a company or not a company, but a club called SoCal Baggers.
Yep.
And I started SCV Cornhole, and at the time it was really funny. This is 8 years ago. There was a lot of clashing. You were like, why are you playing with them? Why are you wearing their jersey? You should be wearing ours. Like, all this stuff. And, over about a course of a year or two, we both started working really well together. Right. And like, it was like more like, hey, what is it? Rising seas rises all boats kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's stop fighting with each other. And you see that a lot with all these cornhole clubs that are popping up where like, hey, if you're getting new people into the sport, then they may be interested in something that I'm running next month, right?
Correct.
So, instead of looking at it like, oh my God, there's all these clubs popping up, we got to look at it like this is a different opportunity. And like we've talked about, maybe this club's more competitive, right? There are 30 players that come, they want to be good, they want to be on TV one day. But this club over here, they're a bunch of drunks that just want to have a big screen football game on, and who cares?
Correct.
Now you have an opportunity to go to both of those different things and maybe bounce in between if you're that type of player who wants a little bit of both. So I think that that's going to help the sport as we get through some of these growing pains where we have now a dichotomy of a lot of really good players that are very, very good, right? Like, I mean, there's even somebody that's just been playing for 6 years and plays, a lot, they could be throwing an 8 PPR.
Yes.
Whereas a lot of new players that are coming in are like me and not very good. There's a spot for them now to go to these different clubs.
Well, I think ultimately we can really grow huge if we start getting it involved in the schools. You know what I mean? And start making it competitive sports. My only issue, I've done this a time or two. My only issue with this is that we see so many of these young dudes getting really good really fast, right? And they catch on and they're going and beating the shit out of everyone. My only issue is how long are they going to stay with it? Is this going to be something that's going to keep their interest for, are they going to stick with it? But the nice thing about our game is that you can always come back to it at least.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? But I think if we get it into the schools, I really think that's where we're going to start seeing multiple participation, because if your kid's playing for his high school. All right, well, shit, maybe I should go join a local league or something with him. You know what I mean? Like, I think like it's just going to exponentially grow, or at least the potential for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will say this. I mean, I think there's tons of growth out there. I think that the biggest thing that I kind of see is that there needs to be some common organization kind of done. And what you kind of see is, and you kind of touch on this, Ben, where you say like the organization just wants to drink and have fun. Great. That's really not a region to me. That's really not a group kind of doing the deal. That's more of friends kind of doing their stuff. I think that certain aspects of the app, which is the leading app, Scoreholio, should only be allowed for them to be able to do like single elimination tournaments or, you know, this or that of kind of doing it. Some of these more intricate multi-match or different things that are huge add-ons need to go to these leagues and organizations that are really trying to grow to get people to kind of come and be a part of this. So like if you want to kind of do the bigger aspects of Scoreholio, because Scoreholio has grown so much and they've done such amazing things, let's leave the basic stuff to the basic groups that just want to have a good time. Go have a good time. Go run your charity event. I think that's awesome. I support charity events. I do them all the time. But the organizations that run the seasons, run the leagues, run the different things like that, let's try and help those organizations grow, which will in turn grow the game for what we want to kind of do. No one's saying you can't go play pickup basketball, but at some point, the pickup basketball game needs to become a league run by the city or the organization and kind of doing that stuff. And that's where we got to kind of get to of doing it with this game. It can't just be, hey, I'm going to play in my backyard and we're going to kind of do this. Hey, we're going to play in our backyard. Great. We're going to run switch holios. Cool. That's awesome. If you want to run the double elimination, you want to run the whole bread style, you want to run this, you want to run best 2 out of 3, you want to run this stuff. Hey, go play in a league because that stuff needs to kind of be there, which will in turn grow the game.
Yeah, I agree. I do. I agree.
I kind of disagree, but that's fine.
You do. I know you do.
Yeah,
and
I disagree with that. I mean, I think that your league is successful by people feeding into it. It's the more exposure or games that they can play that they enjoy doing, then they can get together and meet people that are in your league. And then maybe they bring them to one of those tournaments. So limiting factors that bring people into the game doesn't seem like a way that could actually grow the game. I feel like.
So I agree and disagree. And what I will disagree on is Scoreholio seasons. Okay. Yeah. Scoreholio seasons should be left for the organizations because I believe that the organizations is what Scoreholio seasons is for. And so me competing against teams or organizations that don't run TCL around Texas that want to run a season for points, no, go be a part of the organization that's there and kind of doing that stuff to earn points to kind of do that stuff so that we can factor in those people. Those people end up coming to play at the big tournaments, but they're missing out. So now we're going back and saying, okay, we're going to seed at those bigger tournaments, which you guys haven't enabled us to be able to do is seed them based on their points and being able to do it for the bigger tournaments. So it's enabling us to kind of do it. But at the same time, it's competing against those local organizers that are trying to put on those weekly leagues and try and bring those players out.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's a different deal. Like it's totally...
it's okay to disagree.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you guys are looking at it from two different aspects. I mean, you have the one running the software, the guy running the league. He wants as many people to sign up and buy that subscription as possible. So, I mean, I understand both sides of it. It's just,
well, I think that I'm helping Chad out. This is America. Competition breeds greatness. So the more people that I could have being more competitive to the TCL, the harder the TCL needs to work, which makes a better product. So there you go. You're welcome, Chad.
Absolutely.
Motivating words from Ben Budhu.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, so
what do they say? They say imitation is the best form of flattery. They're just imitating you, Chad.
Very true.
Be like you.
Absolutely.
Very
Absolutely.
true.
Then what should happen is the only one that gets banners is the ones that do pre-registration. Because in turn, I'm helping you.
Now you guys are getting the internal conversations where Chad likes to strong arm me into amazing new features that everybody benefits from.
Yeah, and first of all, if you're not on Patreon and you're not watching the interview, I mean, it's worth the $5 a month just to see a background like Ben's. I mean, it's
Very
pretty
true.
impressive. I mean, you can just see what Scoreholio is paying for now. I mean, it's
want
just
that
crazy.
one day.
Hell yeah.
Impressive.
Well, I could tell you, I wish this was real. As you can see, the water never moves. It is.
That's
it's
the
stagnant.
Pacific Ocean. It just
You
stays
can
still.
say, it actually looks like a lake, and I think the only one on the Zoom that has a lake house is Chad Jacobson over at the TCL. Oh, you got a lake house, Dane?
Family does, yeah.
Oh, there you go. See, I don't have the lake house nor
Me
the
either.
ocean view, but
Me either.
Sean and I will slum it in our non-lake houses.
Yeah, we got to upgrade that furniture though, man. Like, geez, oh man.
No, that's actually very chic
This
nowadays.
is what,
I know, I go for comfort,
this,
man.
You know what this is? This is my therapist room for Chad.
I was gonna say,
Oh,
look at that!
okay.
Look at that live edge table in there. Good lord, living
Chad lives
life.
on this couch over here, and I listen to him bitch about features all day long and tell him that life's going to be okay.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this up with a tier talk. Dane, you have one, right?
I'm gonna switch it up though. We're not gonna do a tier talk.
Please. All right, well, you take it away.
We have a room here of collective brilliant minds.
Okay.
I'll coin this as that. So I want us to come up with the 5 greatest baseball movies of all time.
Baseball movies.
But this is a workshop, so we need to collectively agree on these 5 movies by the time we log off here.
Well, Field of Dreams got to be number one. And then we can go from there.
Sandlot's number 1.
Oh, damn it. Maybe you're right. Shit.
I think that both of those belong on the
Yes,
top
they do.
5.
Field of Dreams definitely belongs in there.
Okay.
Well, I'm wondering, how much more time we have.
That's what I'm saying. All right, so let's just spitball out. Let's just toss out a couple baseball movies that come to mind. Like we have Major
All right,
League.
well,
All right, can I throw
I
out
know a
another
lot
League of Their
We're
Own?
going to go older, right? We're going with older, but what about Moneyball?
Moneyball's,
Oh, yeah,
Moneyball's a
100%.
good
Great
one. Yeah.
Moneyball.
Sean said A League of Their Own, another classic.
Oh, yeah. No,
Maybe
for-
crying in baseball.
No, The Natural.
The Natural's
Yeah,
another
Natural's
great
a
one.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, I
Roy
think
Hobbs, man.
that one's
Roy
got to
Hobbs.
be. I think if we're talking top 5 greatest of all time, I think The Natural has to be in it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if
Because
we're,
that's
I
like-
feel like you have to have some sort of like comedy in there. So I mean, like, do you put in like
Basketball.
major leagues?
I might alienate my New York people, but I was thinking if you're talking about a comedy, that could be like the World Series we just witnessed, where the Dodgers,
Jesus.
Dodgers, won the World Series.
All right.
But that
Or the
Dodger
documentary
fans are
on the Red
just as
Sox.
bad as Yankee fans. Okay, you guys are all collectively horrible.
Yeah.
All right.
We won last year.
Ah,
way.
here
And
we
then
go.
are you an
We're
Astros guy or
living in
Texas
the
Rangers
Wow.
guy?
the down, Chad.
It's not top 5, but it's there. It's one of my favorite. Is For the Love of the Game.
Yeah, no, I do love that.
That's a good one.
It's a good game.
Yeah, I don't think I can have it in the top 5 though.
It's not top 5, but for the love
Because
of
like
the
I'm thinking
game,
like Rookie of the Year.
deal,
Can I throw
as we
out?
talk about,
I don't know if we can consider it
Scoreholio
a
and
baseball
everything,
movie, but I'm gonna
love
throw it
the
out there anyways. Moneyball.
We just had
No, I'm
Moneyball.
sorry. What I'm talking about? Damn it. What?
Basketball.
No. G baby.
That's a
Hardball.
Hardball.
I'm sorry, not Moneyball.
Hardball is
Hardball.
definitely. I mean, it's a baseball movie for sure.
I mean,
There's
we go
baseball
Bad
in it.
News Bears, wasn't that?
Bad News
Bad
Bears,
News Bears.
yeah, the original
the
was-
OG for sure.
Yeah.
All right, what about The Rookie?
The Rookie with Dennis Quaid?
About the Texas high school?
Yeah, with Dennis Quaid.
that,
That was
like
pretty
came in. I
solid.
mean, that was the solid
All right,
Disney
so-
fluff piece.
So what, Sandlot's number one.
Yeah.
I think Sandlot could be number one.
Yeah.
I watch that movie.
Then honestly, I mean, I would have to. I think Field of Dreams would have to be number 2.
Yeah, I would agree.
I mean, another one that I'd throw up there is
Moneyball.
Angels in the Outfield.
Great movie.
Moneyball is a great one.
Are you not going to go Bill Durham?
But like,
Bull-
I'm
yeah.
thinking Bull Durham and
Yes.
Major League. Like, I mean, I
Yeah,
feel like
Major
all
League is
those
so
are.
good. Though. Major League is so good.
It is. And I mean,
All right, so you got 5-ish. You got
Yeah, that's
5-ish.
pretty good.
I mean, it's a good
That
list.
was
We
pretty
rattled
good.
off some, but
I'm
Got
impressed.
Four people
I'm impressed.
get an actual list together. I'm pretty impressed.
hey,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think we named off the best of the best.
I'm
in
gonna
my
get
opinion.
messages though if the movies that we didn't recommend. It happens every week, but I love it. So
I
keep
know.
it coming.
Yeah, I mean, I was-
off the top of my head, there's got to be a couple more, right?
Oh, I mean, there's Angels in the Outfield, Rookie of the Year, but I feel like those are more nostalgic for us because like
Yeah,
that's like.
I mean, I
prime
I
of
threw those
watching
out
movies.
there, but like, I mean, there's also a Sandlot too.
It's true.
Nobody saw it.
No, that's true. It's very true. So, all right. So we'll wrap this up. We'll let the folks go home. We'll have you guys hang out for a minute. But Ben, Chad, thank you very much for joining, guys. It was a good conversation. I think people need to hear this. I feel like this is kind of like a State of the Union. Yeah, it's a State of the Union address. I feel like for like just cornhole everywhere. Like, don't panic. Like it's everyone. Like, people are still playing. Across the country. Just because people aren't going to a regional or something, doesn't mean anything necessarily. So.
True.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for having us on. I really appreciate it. I mean, I will tell you, I just recently played in a tournament down here to this new town that I moved to, and I got to play with my wife.
Hell yeah.
As my partner, and we got second place. So,
Hell yeah.
Talk about cornhole growing. I got her out there, and we got to play. We were up 7. I put us up 7 in the last round, and she gave up a 9 to lose the match. We're still talking, but
it's okay.
You know what? We're very excited. We had so much fun. We're actually playing again next Saturday at a fundraiser for a buddy that had a stroke, unfortunately.
Okay. Not nice.
But she's going to come out and play
poorly
again
timed on my band. That's my fault.
I know, it's a bad timing here. But you know what? If you guys want to donate some money to him and help him out, reach out to Ben at Scoreholio.com.
Oh, yeah.
And, we can get you in there. But thank you. And thanks, Chad, for being on here as well. That was a surprise, a pleasant surprise.
Always.
And thank you guys for having us on here. It's been great, and what grows the game is conversations that Ben and I have. You know what I mean? And going back and forth, and what Scoreholio does, guys. If without Scoreholio, TCL is not what it is, and the game of cornhole is not what it is. And that is the beautiful thing about their organization. What you guys do with the podcast and the different things like that. What ACO has done, Frank Gears and those guys. I mean, what Stacy has done with the ACL and the pro players and going on ESPN is phenomenal. And, what we do at our conference level and how we do it, with my business partner, Jason, without all of those organizations and the groups of doing it, cornhole is not here what it is. And I'm excited for the future, and it's awesome. Thank you guys.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, couldn't agree more. Thanks for doing what you guys do.
Of course, man. All right, folks.
Appreciate y'all.
Hope you guys enjoyed the interview. We'll be back next week with more stuff. But as always, we hope you throw it straight. It's nothing but 4 baggers from here on out.
Cornhole it.
Later. That was easy.